Welcome back to Moonymakes. My name is Callie, and today we are going to be making creamy bell pepper pasta. So this recipe is one of my go-to weeknight meals. It's quick, it's easy, it's delicious, it doesn't require a lot of ingredients, and you are going to love it. So let's get right into it. But before we begin, as always, please remember to subscribe, like, share, chat in the comment section, and follow me on social media for more recipes and additional content. So these are the ingredients that we are going to be using. I have some bell peppers. You can use any color bell pepper that you like. What I've done here is I've charred them. I've charred them on all sides, and to char them, what you're gonna do is pop them directly on top of the flame on your stove, and using a pair of tongs, you just wanna rotate the bell pepper so every side of it gets nice and charred like so. You want the heat on at medium-high heat, okay? Once you've done that, put them in a bowl, cover them with plastic wrap for 10 minutes. In that 10 minutes, what's gonna happen is the bell peppers are continuing to cook, they're gonna steam, and it's just gonna get them nice and delicious, okay? So I've already done all of that, and by the way, if you don't wanna put them on the stove, you could just pop them under the broiler, and again, just rotate them until they get nice and charred on all sides. So I've done that. We'll talk about those a little bit more. I have some extra virgin olive oil, black pepper, Aleppo pepper. If you don't wanna use Aleppo pepper, you could just use red pepper flakes or leave it out completely if you don't want it to be a little spicy. I have some salt, plenty of onions and garlic, freshly grated Parmesan cheese, a tiny bit of butter, and that is it. Go ahead and get a large pot of water boiling and add a good pinch of water. You want it salty as the Mediterranean Sea, as they say. So get that nice and ready to go. And okay, I'm gonna clean up a few things, and then I'm gonna show you what to do with the bell peppers. Okay, so what we need to do is remove the char from the bell pepper. And to do that, all you need to do is take a knife or just use your hand, and you're just gonna peel the black part just right off, and it should come off very easily like so. Some people will run the peppers under water. I don't do that because it's gonna kind of take away some of the flavor. So just, do your best, get as much of the char off as you can, and do not drive yourself crazy. If there's still some, little black specks here and there, that's totally fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove all of the charred parts, and then I'm gonna slice these up thinly, and then we'll continue. Okay, so we are back. I just added some extra virgin olive oil into my pot. My burner is on to medium, and it's about ready to go. So time to add in the onions and the garlic. So these are going in, and I'm gonna cook these for a few minutes until they get nice and, translucent and cook down. We want the garlic to be nice and fragrant and slightly golden brown along with the onions. So to this, I'm gonna add in a good pinch of salt. I always cook with kosher salts. I'm also gonna add in a good pinch of black pepper. We'll add the red pepper flakes or Aleppo, whichever you're using, shortly. But yeah, so I'm just gonna cook these for, again, a few minutes, and then we'll proceed. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, and my onions and my garlic are looking good. They're kind of lightly golden, everything's really fragrant. So now we're gonna throw in the bell peppers. And keep in mind, the bell peppers are already cooked. So we're just kind of adding them in now so we could salt them, add a little bit more pepper, and just kind of get the onions and the garlic to kind of mingle with the flavor of the bell pepper. Whoa, that's a little noisy. So that looks good. So we're gonna add, like I said, a good pinch of bell pepper. You wanna be salting every layer, flavoring every layer of your dish. So salt goes in. I'm making a mess right now. I'm also gonna add in some black pepper along with my pepper flakes. And I'm just gonna give this a stir. I'm gonna let this cook together for literally like a minute or so. Like I said, everything is already cooked. And in the meantime, I just wanna point out that this recipe, or not this specific recipe, but like a creamy bell pepper pasta recipe was kind of circulating on the internet recently. And I just want to add that I do not want my channel to be a channel that only does, trending recipes. If a recipe is trending and I happen to like it, I'll provide a recipe for it. If I don't like it, I will not provide a recipe for it. I recently tried a trending cottage cheese ice cream recipe, and that was not my thing. So just know that any recipe that I post on my YouTube channel or post on my blog is a recipe that I love, that I eat, and that I really want to share with you. So this recipe, like I said, is one of them. And I've already been making a pasta very similar to the creamy bell pepper pasta that was making the rounds on the internet. So it just felt like a good time to share it. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm gonna clean up, and then we're just gonna blend this all up, and we are almost done. Okay, so next what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add all of the ingredients into, I'm using a Ninja, but you could use a blender, a food processor, whatever you like. I love my single serve Ninja, or Bullet, not Ninja, sorry. It's just like, it's so much less cleanup. I love it. So this is what I'm using, and I'm just gonna add all of the ingredients and I'm gonna blend it up until it is nice and smooth and creamy. Okay, so my ingredients are blended and they are so creamy, and one of the things I love about this pasta is it's so cream without actually adding any heavy cream. And granted, there's a ton of butter and Parmesan in this recipe, but it really, you would think there was heavy cream in it. When you make this, you'll understand. And when I was first developing this recipe a long time ago, I had the intention of adding heavy cream in it, and then I made it and I was like, I really don't need to. So, okay, I added that back into the pot. Now we're gonna turn our pan back onto medium. We just kind of want to warm everything through. I have my pasta here that was cooked to al dente. And what I also did was reserve some of the pasta cooking water. So this water is very starchy. It's gonna kind of help make the sauce even a little bit more saucy. And I actually like adding just a little bit of it into my blender. You don't have to do this, just to kind of get some of the, just so we don't waste any of the sauce. So there we go. Now what I'm gonna do is just add my pasta into the sauce like so, along with a little bit more of the cooking water. Again, if you feel like your sauce needs to be a little bit more saucy, add some cooking water. I always like to kind of reserve a little bit more cooking water than I need to, but we're gonna cook this all together for about a minute. So I'm gonna turn my heat actually up to medium high. I said medium earlier, we want it more like medium high, and the pasta is gonna finish cooking in the sauce like so. So this is the perfect time to also add in our butter along with our Parmesan cheese. You could really leave out the butter if you want, but it just adds another kind of layer of creaminess and adds a really nice kind of sheen to the pasta. And look at this. This is gonna be so good. I'm not exaggerating when I say I make this all the time. It's just so quick. I love, right now I'm posting this in the summertime, so there's so many kind of bell peppers that are in season, and I just love it so much. So I'm going to just stir this until the butter melts. I'm actually gonna turn off the heat in just a few seconds. You don't wanna overcook the pasta. And then I'm gonna give you a close-up of just how creamy and dreamy and absolutely amazing this pasta sauce really is. Okay, so I hope you love this recipe. It's one of my favorite weeknight meals, and I have a feeling it's gonna be yours as well. So, as always, for the full written recipe and instructions, head to my blog, moonymakesrecipes.com. I'll put the link for that in the description box below. Click on the link, the recipe will come right up, and make this pasta. I promise you're gonna love it, and let me know what you think, because I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.